Once upon a time, in a busy city, there lived a man named Marcus. Marcus was like many of us. He had dreams, goals, and a desire to live a meaningful life. But he also faced a problem that plagues so many people today: distractions. Everywhere he looked, something tried to pull his attention away. His phone buzzed with notifications. His friends invited him to endless gatherings, and his mind often wandered to worries about the future or regrets about the past. Marcus felt scattered, as if he was being pulled in 100 directions at once. He knew he needed to find a way to focus, to regain control of his mind and his time. One day, while walking through the city, Marcus noticed a small bookstore tucked between two larger buildings. Curious, he stepped inside. The shop was quiet, filled with the smell of old paper and ink. As he browsed the shelves, a particular book caught his eye. It was about Stoicism, an ancient philosophy that taught people how to live with wisdom and strength. Marcus had heard the word before but didn't know much about it. He bought the book and began reading it that very night. What he discovered changed his life. The Stoics, philosophers like Epictetus, Seneca, and Marcus Aurelius, had lived thousands of years ago, but their wisdom felt fresh and powerful. They taught that the key to a good life was not in controlling the world around us, but in mastering our own minds. Distractions, they said, were not just external things. They were also the result of our own undisciplined thoughts. Marcus realized that if he wanted to avoid distractions, he needed to train his mind the way an athlete trains his body. The first lesson he learned was about focus. The Stoics believed that we should concentrate only on what we can control: our actions, our choices, and our reactions. Everything else, other people's opinions, unexpected events, even the noise of the world, was outside our control. Worrying about these things was a waste of time. Marcus began to ask himself a simple question whenever he felt distracted: is this within my control? If the answer was no, he practiced letting it go. This small habit saved him hours of wasted energy. Next, he learned the value of solitude. The modern world is loud, always demanding our attention. But the Stoics made time for quiet reflection. Every morning, Marcus started waking up a little earlier to sit in silence. He would think about his goals, remind himself of what truly mattered, and prepare his mind for the day ahead. This quiet time became his anchor, helping him stay focused even when the world around him was chaotic. Another powerful Stoic tool was the practice of negative visualization. This meant imagining the worst-case scenario in any situation. At first, this seemed strange to Marcus. Why would anyone want to think about bad things happening? But he soon saw the wisdom in it. By imagining distractions or setbacks in advance, he became mentally prepared for them. When they did happen, they no longer caught him off guard. He could stay calm and return to his work without losing focus. Of course, avoiding distractions was not just about thoughts, it was also about actions. The Stoics believed in discipline. They trained themselves to resist short-term pleasures for long-term gains. Marcus applied this by setting strict boundaries. He turned off unnecessary notifications on his phone. He scheduled time for deep work and refused to let small interruptions break his concentration. At first, this was hard. His mind craved the quick dopamine hits of social media and idle chatter. But over time, his self-control grew stronger. One of the biggest distractions Marcus faced was other people. Friends would invite him to gatherings when he had planned to work. Colleagues would interrupt him with unimportant questions. At first, he said yes to everything, afraid of disappointing others. But the Stoics taught him the importance of saying no. He realized that every time he said yes to something unimportant, he was saying no to his own priorities. He began to decline invitations politely but firmly. To his surprise, people respected him more for it. Perhaps the most important lesson Marcus learned was about acceptance. No matter how disciplined he became, distractions would always exist. The world would always be noisy. The Stoics didn't expect perfection. They expected perseverance. On days when his focus slipped, Marcus didn't berate himself. Instead, he gently guided his attention back, like training a dog to heel. He accepted that the mind wanders, but he also knew he had the power to bring it back. Over time, Marcus noticed a change. He was no longer a slave to distractions. His mind felt clearer, his work more meaningful, and his life more intentional. He still faced challenges, of course, but now he had the tools to meet them. The wisdom of the Stoics had given him something priceless, the ability to focus on what truly mattered. And so Marcus continued his journey, not as a perfect man, but as a man striving for excellence. He knew that avoiding distractions wasn't about shutting out the world, it was about mastering himself. And in that mastery, he found a deep and lasting strength. The end.